to do that. We saw his matches against Polt, and they were very uninspiring, although, you know, you can't really say that is Huck 100% because he plays 10 times better when he is on like a virtual LAN setting or, you know, server to server more so. And he's able to really showcase his skills and his talents.
Let's introduce our players, starting in the top left from Team Root Gaming, Root for Roots. It's Root Masa. Top left, Mario Kim from Canada, representing the foreigners as well as the new generation of Koreans trying to assimilate into Western society. Joins the ranks of players like Select, who actually still is playing in the NASL. A lot of people wondering what Select's whereabouts is. He is going to transition over to Dota 2, but he will finish out the season. Over in the top right, we have from Team Evil Genius's Raid Call. It is Huck, Chris Loranger, who is 4-2 in the North American Star League. Got to the finals, which was actually quite a turnaround. He looked like he was down and out in the playoffs, and then all of a sudden, he was down 0-2, won 3 in a row, and made it dramatic, but he made it to Canada. And top 8 in NASL in a pool of really talented 45 players is a great feat. Huck doing very well recently as well. He's going to IPL 5 through the Korean qualifier. He qualified in the midst of Koreans. He's doing well at EG Master Cup for his team. I think Huck's really starting to turn the page, and I can't wait to see how he's actually going to do at MLG Dallas. It's been a year since he won the tournament for MLG Orlando last year, and I actually did a segment on it that's going to be coming out tomorrow, but I picked Huck to be one of the surprises at MLG, and I say surprises because no one's expecting him to do well, even though I think he will.
Huck is one of those players that also is very victim to, I guess, mental attitude. He's the type of player that if he's not feeling well, it's going to reflect in his play. And you can definitely see that he goes up and down. His screen name is even depression. He has another screen name that's sadness. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because I feel like happy, jovial Huck is one of the best Protosses, if not the best Protoss in the world.
Yeah, when he's playful.
Exactly.
When he's like joking, cordial.
When he's kind of sad, I feel like we still get good play out of him, but it isn't the absolute top that I expect from him.
It's not the super aggressive early game that gets ahead kind of no matter what you kind of do. He's like, he knows, you know that Huck's going to attack, but then he knows that you know he's going to attack. So it's so funny that sometimes it still even works despite that. Like Huck is one of the most figured out game styles of Protoss that I think out of almost any foreigner that's on the top of the scene other than Stefano. And I feel like despite that, Huck still was able to succeed, and can he still overcome that hump? Although Huck is going for early Nexus here, that doesn't mean he's not going to pressure and kind of contain Masa if he's given the opportunity. Huck's one of those guys, scouts, even though he won 1 gate Nexus, drops 5 more gates in 6 gates, similar to what MC did.
Nice little pick off on this SEV over here. Just a little bit of luck for Huck. He's going to actually meet him up in the bottom right-hand corner ball scouting. 2 Hellions are out on the map. We do see a 1-1-1 coming out from Masa. So this is exactly what I was saying before, just his versatility, his ability to play different styles is why he's such a dangerous Terran, especially in this matchup, because the Terran vs Protoss early game is probably the most volatile out of any matchup in my opinion. And look at that. 2 Hellions going to get into the main base Frodan, and this isn't looking good.
Well, how much are they going to be able to pick off? The probes are clumping. Ooh, very dangerous situation. Huck does have 1 sentry kind of working on it. Nice shot there. Oh, Huck losing a lot of probes, but he does force field. Looks like the probes will deal with it, but not before another couple drop. 8 workers killed for 2 Hellions. Very good trade. That was the kind of trade that Alive wanted. Actually, this is almost looking very similar to the build that Alive did, other than he went for a quicker starport instead of an expansion.
That's right, and just this little alteration is actually going to pay dividends in my opinion. But although, just saying that there was a little bit of luck for Masa in that his opponent's Zealot and Soccer were way out of the map. Although I guess it is punishing a little bit. Masa, that was kind of interesting. He had his medevac just chilling there, but the probes will get away pretty nicely. You can see there's not enough anti-air damage to really clear up that medevac. So we'll get out with those 2 Hellions. But nicely done by Huck.
I agree. Ooh, Masa dropping a supply, call down supply. So this is a very, very sharp timing that can come out of Masa, especially with Marine, Hellion, Banshee. But I think Huck is okay. I mean, he's managed to kind of stabilize his economy. He didn't really take any more damage from drops, and he's being very active. You can see the medevacs being chased out. And as long as you keep kind of an observer on it, I think Huck's in a really nice position. And if you can shut down this Banshee harass, I think Huck will be pretty far ahead.
Yep. Only time will tell, as it looks like he's grouping up a lot of Hellions now. He's going out on the map. I love this, but it is pretty dangerous, Frodan. In that,
ooh, did he bait out Stalkers?
Yes, that's the problem. He baits out so many units, and these Hellions can actually work around everything. But nicely done, warping in units, making sure the sentry's over there to actually defend. Sentry's not normally something that you want to use to defend against Hellions, but inevitably they will work very nice here. As it stands, it looks like we have transition into bio, just standard bio. You can see this factory is just making reactors all over the place.
And it looks like he's going to expand as well, which he inevitably will. Masa does have 2 command centers, but again, it's denying any information or any room for Huck to kind of poke in. Now he sees no expansion. It's like, oh, that's a very late command center. And that should give Huck basically the notion that, you know, I have a pretty large economic advantage from mining from 2 bases. Although Masa does have a high number of SCV count as well because he's been able to make double SCV.
He's been really good at actually making SCVs this game. Oh! Okay, gets the observer. But still, when it comes down to, Huck's going to do some huge aggression. You can see he's actually chrono boosting out of 3 gateways. The single Banshee is going to get in here. Beautifully done. And he should be able to see everything that's going on in the main base, but is Huck going to pull the trigger here? This is really scary for both these players. 2 medevacs are already out in the field. Stim is done, and here we go, Frodan.
He's not prepared. The SCVs were not in position. The bunker will drop super quickly. Huck's also dealing with the Banshee back at the natural, so this is it. Masa has to hold or else risk getting completely run over by the Protoss army. The 2 bunkers drop. Masa has to evacuate the natural, and Huck, ooh, he misses the force field. That would have been absolutely huge, but still, this is big plays coming out of our Evil Genius Protoss.
Absolutely, and back at home, the Banshee did get cleaned up, so Huck doesn't have to worry about anything. All this damage is not going to be returned. Marine's going to actually poke out a little bit. They need to be so very careful.
Target now the call down supply.
That's
going to
very
massively
big.
Supply block Terran.
Yeah, oh man, look at that, 59 out of 46. That means no further units can be made. And on top of that, it's going to compile because SCVs are going to be pulled off the line the whole time. It's impossible for him to really do anything from here. Masa going to switch over Starport, but the damage has been done similar to what we saw with the Arthur game against Alive. Just having this position is beautiful. You can't really come down into the natural position just because you can easily force field.
Yeah, Huck playing his cards beautifully this game, being able to. I guess Masa's been doing a good job picking off probes, but Huck making sure to really capitalize on when his units are strongest, realizing, you know, the medevacs were out for a little bit longer and the bio count kind of, you know, compiled from there. Then the gateway units would be useless. You know, when they say stim bio is so good against gateway units, it would have been awesome for Masa to be in that position. But Huck now able to even save his observer and pick off way more than he should, trapping some units. Now working onto the command center, which is on fire. Masa's in danger of losing that command center.
Now there is a counter drop that could do potential damage, but the problem is dealing with this big amount of stalkers.
Means trapping SCVs out, making sure that the buffer between him and the units are increasingly lowering. Masa going for a massive stim, but he's got to do big damage in order to come back. Huck kind of stopped probing, though.
Yeah.
And that's going to be really painful, considering that he might lose a lot of units at his natural.
You can see both of them are very equal count of harvesters, but still, it looks like the big advantage goes to Huck because this army, it's like
the command center dies.
It's impossible to really engage against this.
Oh, wow. GG gets called out, and Huck winning the war of attrition takes game number 1.
Beautifully played. Really, really well played. I like how Huck, unlike a lot of protesters that like to go up into the natural, as soon as you blow down all those supply depots, you're like, okay, I'm good. Let's go up into the main base, and I'm able to kill my opponent. But Huck's saying, no, I don't actually have to do that. I kill the supply depots, and I just defend this one area and force my opponent out of position. And what ended up happening was Masa tried to do that counterattack, weakens the front substantially, Masa still needs to defend that open ramp, because if he does come up, then he's dead. You don't want to give up that much position. That's why all the SCVs were pulled off the line for so long, and inevitably Huck was able to just whittle off SCV after SCV after SCV to the point where he just had an insurmountable lead.
Yeah, and I like the restraint he showed. Love the robo just for the observer as well. A lot of players get tempted to take the Colossus after they defend, rush for the tech, and even then it's not really safe, because we say Colossus on Whirlwind is just honestly not that good because it's such a big map. Yeah. Game number 1 was brought to you by Azo Monitors, the best in monitor protection technology. Check them out at azo.com. When we come back, game number 2 between Huck versus Masa. We'll find out what happens right after this.